Get and transform is my favourite thing in Excel. So get and transform gets data from somewhere else and transforms it before loading it in to Excel. Here it is in today's version of Excel at the left-hand edge of the data ribbon. Get and transform is also known as Power Query, because that's what it used to be called in older versions of Excel. Here's a screenshot from 5 years ago. So how does it work? We'll start with a straightforward example importing some data from a single file, and then we'll get a bit more tricky and we'll combine data from multiple sources. Here's a text file. Let's open it up and take a peek. This is sales data from our Camberwell store, and looks like we're selling clothing. It's a week's worth of data. So at the top, we start with 3 lines of rubbish, doesn't mean anything to us, followed by our row of headings, and then we have the data. So the first column is a date, although it's got those weird double hyphens in between, the month, the day and the year. We've got a product ID and description all mixed together. That's a bit annoying. Then we've got the store ID, Camberwell 1. Then we've got the amount, including the GST tax, and finally the GST. So now the values are separated by commas. This is a comma separated value, or CSV file. We're going to import this data into Excel using Get and Transform. Data tab, get data from file from a CSV file. So we've got the data, and we could now just click load and it would put it into Excel as a table. But we need to tidy it up. We need to transform the data. This is the Power Query editor, and it's sitting over the top of our original Excel file. So let's make a list of what we need to do. First of all, we need to remove the top 3 rows with that rubbish in. Then we need to make the first column a date. At the moment, it's come in as text, which is not right, obviously. And all the others have come in as text as well. So we'll talk about that later. We need to split column 2 into a product ID, which is the number, and then a description, which is the text. And finally, how about we add a new column, which is the amount excluding GST, i.e. this column less this column. Remove rows. Remove top rows. Remove the top 3 rows. Row 1 has obviously got the headers, so how about we use first row as headers. Done. Looking good. So what have we got so far? We've got this is text, first column, second column is text, third column is text, and now that we removed the headings, Excel Power Query is treating these as decimal numbers, which is correct. So how about we try making the first column a date? Maybe I can just click on here and say, actually it's a date. Add a new step. And that results in an error. So we've been unsuccessful. So let me step back a little bit and explain what's been happening so far. We've been building a query, and these are the steps. In fact, I can go through the steps. First of all, I said get the data, and I gave it the name of the file. Then actually Excel's done this one. It's guessed at what each column is, and its initial guess is text. Then this is something we did. This is actually stepping through. We removed the top 3 rows, and then we promoted the headers. The headers became, the first row became the headers, and then as a result of that, Excel put this in, it's converted these to decimal numbers. That's good. And then the last step is the one that we did to try and make this into a date, but it didn't work. So what we can do is simply delete this last step, and we need to try something else. So there's probably a number of ways of doing this, but how about we just try making the double hyphen into a single hyphen? Replace values. Double hyphen becomes a single hyphen. Go, and that's what's happened. So now let's try changing this to a date field. This time it worked. So our next task is to split the product ID column. Click on it. Split column by digit to non-digit. So basically it'll split the column immediately after the first number or digit. There we go. So we've got 2 columns now. The first one is the product ID, which I can just double click and change the name of. And this one is going to become a description. Very good. One final thing to do, that's create our extra column. Add column. Just need to press enter to put the description in. Add column, custom column. And let's call it amount x, oops, typing too fast, x GST. And in here we have to write a formula, which is not exactly the same as Excel, because it needs to be the Power Query M language, M for Martin. Nothing to do with me, but it is the M language. And the good news is that you don't actually have to learn it, because if you're doing something straightforward, you can guess. So all I'm doing here is taking the amount including GST column, and I'm minusing, taking away the GST column, and it's written the formula for me. It says here that no syntax errors have been detected, so it'll probably work. There we go, amount excluding GST. And now I'm going to close and load. So we now have a normal Excel worksheet with our data in a table. Now we could have done this in various other ways. So let's have a look at 2 advantages of using queries: the ability to refresh and the ability to edit. If I right click on the query and I refresh, it will run through the same steps as we just did. It's a bit similar to a macro, I guess, if you've used a macro to do the similar sort of thing. So let's do that. Refresh. How long does it take? Not very long at all. And you may not even believe me when I tell you I just reran all those steps. So how about we replace the source file with a new week's sales. So the data so far has been the week commencing the 7th of March. So what we'll do, we'll cheat. We'll just rename the text file that we used before to like the old week, and then we'll get the new week's data and we'll call it Camberwell Store. And then we'll run the query again. So let's do that. So how about we take this Camberwell Store data and we'll rename it to Camberwell Store last week. And then we'll take the week 2 file over here, which is just swap places. Of course it's sorted. And we'll rename this to just Camberwell Store like we had before. Then I'll go back to Excel, and if I rerun this query, if I refresh it, we should get our new data. So it's at the 7th of March at the moment. Hopefully it'll be starting the 14th of March. Ready, set, refresh. Loading data, 870 rows loaded, and that looks right. We've got our new data. So it worked through all those steps for the new week very quickly. Now let's edit the data. So if I right click on my query and choose edit, it opens up the Power Query editor again, and I can make changes. So let's have a look. So these steps, I think we tried stepping through them before. We can edit them. So what could we do? So up here with the first step, we could change the source. I'll click on the cog. And there's the name of the file, Camberwell Store. So we could change the source data. So that would be a different way of doing what we just did when we renamed the files. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cancel. What else could we do? Let's go to replaced value, click on the cog, and so what we could do, maybe, not quite sure why, but we could, if we preferred a hyphen, then it would probably be okay, wouldn't it? So Excel would probably do a hyphen as well as a single, a slash as well as a, instead of a hyphen. That's what I'm trying to say. Now you have to be careful, because if this didn't work, then it would completely upset your query. But hopefully, let's go from the one above. So we replace the value, and this time it replaces it with a slash. Let's see if the next step still works. Yes, it does. All right. So that's how to edit one of the steps. What we could also do is we could change the order, or we could delete. But I'm not doing either of those things because there's a very strong likelihood that I'd break my query. How about we add in a step? So let's go to the bottom one, and we don't actually need the GST. Now that I've got my amount excluding GST, I don't need the GST column. So I can right click and I can remove that column, and over here it's added that step into the query. So let me close the query. Top right. It's saying, do I want to keep my changes? Keep. And what it'll do is now run through that query again. There you go. It's finished. And just the same as before, except we're missing a column, the one that we removed.